this is a place which is steeped in tradition.
Only the tough guys survive, and backup is not the option for us.
Creativity comes from the normal life. People here need to be very creative to earn for living.
If you want to go to the essence and the psyche of the Serbian people, they want to see you hoist the trophy. They want to see you do it in a Serbian shirt. After 4 years of listening, you're guilty for this is happening. Wars, shortages, queues, ratios, milk, bread, gas, you name it. There is a guy hitting 9 3-pointers in a big final, and we're winning it. One of the best Serbian feelings in history. There is a new generation of Serbian people who are hungry to see that again. Jokic is the guy who can take us there.
Let me tell you a story about an MVP.
Is there any part of Jokic's success that surprised you?
Yeah, MVP.
But also a story about Serbia and about a lot of other basketball players.
The ball was basically his only toy.
It's about a culture and tradition that brought about many of the world's great players.
After a couple of practice, he told me, this one will be starter in a playoff. I said, I believe you are wrong.
There is one fat kid, and I don't know if I want to hug him or fight him.
And most of all, it's about a group of friends who went to discover the through lines of a country that gave him their MVP.
After all this, the sky's the limit for him. I think that he will break many more records, that he will surprise us.
Right now, there is not a shred of doubt in my organism which is going to tell you that Nikola Jokic is the best Serbian basketball player to grace the court. That's undisputed.
Oh, baby. Oh, baby. We're in the winner's lounge. First time in like 7 months. Oh, it's been a while. It's actually just the preseason. It's just the preseason.
No, this is the goddamn winner's lounge. We take what we can get.
Oh, my goodness. The Denver Nuggets second unit beats the Phoenix Suns.
Starters.
That was a lot of fun.
I have it on good authority. They don't care. They told me themselves they don't care.
They don't care enough that they're not doing a post-game show today.
They don't care.
They don't care or know how the internet works. Guys, we're presented as always by DraftKings Sportsbook, America's top-rated sportsbook app. Use promo code DNVR whenever you sign up. Dev, preseason, he's 0-3. Dev is personally 0-3, but the Denver Nuggets are not 0-3. They're 1-2, which is way better.
So much better.
So much better. This game was actually sneaky fun.
Dude, it was incredible. This is the first enjoyable game we've gotten since the first game of Summer League.
It's true, man. This was a weird game. It was like felt like there wasn't that much of consequence, but it was fun nonetheless. It was like a little journey we went on.
Nothing matters except for that everything matters, and I just couldn't feel better.
Yeah. I am joined by none other than Superstar Dev, a.k.a. The Grateful Dev.
You know what?
Is that a new nickname? We don't know.
You know, I was just like Phoenix in the preseason. Like, I just truly didn't care. It really didn't matter if I just didn't win at all. We could act like I didn't care. I looked at how much the starters played for them. The whole damn game. They cared.
They brought him back in late in the game, too. I know. I love that. It was a good one. I mean, I'm telling you, how many minutes did Chris Paul and them play? Yeah, they were in the 20s, the high 20s here. You got Chris Paul 29. Chris Paul played the most minutes of everyone on the Suns. What do they do? What's Monty Williams doing?
I don't know.
What is he doing playing him 30 minutes
he played
tonight?
More than anyone on either team. He played the most.
Get back out there, Chris. You're young. You're spry.
Yeah, dude, he's like, listen, I've seen what happens late in the season. We got to build you up now, Chris.
We're going to build you up now. I'm also joined by D-Line, who, if you squint, looks like he's naked.
Oh, dude, you don't have to squint. You just need to ask.
Doesn't that kind of look like he's a little
Yeah. No one's asking that.
The worst part is that you can imagine my skin being so loose and baggy. But all the same, very sexy. I couldn't agree with you anymore. Guys, every Nugget's good. Let's go. Except for MPJ. Unfortunately.
We're like it's a Monday, and we're like punch drunk from this wacky game, man. I'm telling you, if the basketball's not going to be good, it might as well be weird. And tonight was fun, very, very weird. Where do you guys want to start? I mean, Ishmael, so if you missed this game, I'm sure a lot of people, they're listening to the show, but not all of them maybe watch the game. Ish Smith hit a game winner tonight. Ish Smith had a little bit of a fourth quarter takeover. I mean, the last 2 minutes of this game, Ish Smith was like, "I got you, boys. Get on my shoulders."
Dude, did we win the trade through Ish alone?
That's so funny. Look, I will say this. You don't want to swing too wildly, especially on preseason. You don't want your takes, but Bruce Brown, Ish Smith, two guys that, Bruce Brown a little more familiar with. Ish Smith, I know him obviously as the Nuggets killer. You watch him around the league or this or that. Both of those guys have really endeared themselves to me over the course of training camp and including this. Like Ish Smith at training camp and everything else, you could just tell that guy's a leader. You wonder, okay, how's a guy been on 14, 15 teams, whatever it's been, and you beat him, you're like, oh, of course, this is clearly a guy that's good to have around. But him and Bruce Brown in this game, the way they played, I was very, very impressed. Where do you want to start? Let's start with Ish Smith.
Let's keep that Ish roll.
I thought Ish Smith was good throughout this game. I did not think he was good in the previous game. I thought he was good in game number 1, not so much game number 2. But tonight, man, he's so quick. It's funny because he's a veteran. He's been in the league for a long time. He had DeAndre Ayton on an island at one point, right by him. Like he was nothing. He kind of pulled him out like, oh, okay, I got a big guy on me. Right around him to the basket. He is really quick.
Yeah, I love. First off, what stands out about Ish Smith is the professionalism, the entire time. But also, he just knows his role. He's even killed. He is going to run the offense. This was his best game by far as running the offense. Got guys in the set, but also attacked the entire time. He used that speed. He went after mismatches, and this is not against backups. This is against
king of the game. Wow.
Chris Paul is out there guarding him, and he doesn't care. He's going against everybody, and he's just the whole time just trying to attack. His leadership was a lot different. It's not like he's screaming at guys or there's not any type of negative moments when he's on the floor where he's getting on guys. He's just leading by example and just making right play after right play. So it was great to see the shot falling, the confidence in his game, and just he seems to have that dog in him.
Oh my God, dude!
I love that he has that dog in him.
It's nice to be on the other side of Ish Smith murdering you. Ish Smith has brought holy terror to the Denver Nuggets in the history.
Has. He
has ruined so many games for us where he's just absolutely done to us what we watched him do to the Suns tonight. It was absolutely delicious. Ish Smith is not a player that I was looking forward necessarily to seeing what he had to offer the Denver Nuggets, but my God. You don't expect this out of him every game.
Of course not. No.
Of course, we haven't really seen it to this point. But it's just a nice reminder. As guys get up in age and they've been in the league a little bit, you start to wonder if a quick guy like that, especially if they're going to lose their step, maybe they're not going to be as effective. But his shot was great. Also, he doesn't look like he's lost any steps at all. He looked great, man. It was awesome.
He even knocked down a 3 tonight. He went 7 of 12 from the field, had 17 points, 7 assists, 3 rebounds. He did have 3 turnovers, but if you watch the game, I just thought he was in control. He knew where to be. He knew he knew what he was doing, and he played so well. It's 2 games. Preseason is really good. You think about starters, we're going to talk about Michael Porter, Jokic, and these guys. There are things you can glean from preseason, but to me, it really more is about that second and third unit because those are the guys you want to see who they fit in. If we went through all of the guys whose stock has sort of risen the most, I don't know how many guys you would go through before you got to Ish, where I'm looking at it and I go, I don't know if I love this bench unit. I'm not sure what the solution is. Ish tonight went a long way in my mind of being I don't know, maybe he's just a guy that needs to be on the court. Maybe him and Bones are going to find a way to play together because to me, he just looked like he could do a lot.
Yeah, what I love about Ish, and it's something that actually Bones is starting to do a little bit more, but he could just take from him. He makes sure that he attacks the mismatch every single time. He forces it around until he gets a bigger guy on him. He's either going to blow by them for a finish or he's going to blow by for an extra pass and a dump off. But just having that person that's attacking and getting downhill, it puts a lot of pressure on the defense where they have to guess, especially if you're able to get into the teeth of the defense and you get a floater or your creative shooter, but then you have Bones who could actually knock down the shot and also finish around the rim. So just having a guy with that type of speed that could just change the pace, get them into their sets a lot quicker. That's just another weapon that you could add, and you just just file in.
Yeah. What about you? Am I being? Preseason, every take feels dumb. Now, if you have an opinion, you feel dumb for saying it. But after watching the preseason and this game in particular, do you feel any more confidence in Ish Smith as sort of a rotation
Absolutely.
piece?
No, I mean, really, for me, it's this guy is a veteran. We know what he's capable of. Again, we've seen him do it to us. It's just nice to see him do it again, and it just reminds you, sort of what you have in the player. How often we'll need to rely on it? Like, hopefully not that much, but I mean, he's still got it, baby. Let's go.
He's still got it. And of course, again, I should have mentioned this at the top. No Jokic today. He has not been cleared to play yet with his wrist. No Jamal Murray. He missed because of his hamstring and knee, as Michael Malone said in the pregame. And then AG and KCP. If you're resting those two guys, might as well rest these guys as well. So it was a little bit of a strange one. The other storyline to me, and I think Michael Malone has already spoken. I believe Brendan Vogt is setting up right now, and he'll be joining us to kind of share that. I mean, we have this new way, 2 people at Ball Arena.
But I
now.
mean, like, he's already spoken. Michael Malone, you really got it.
Michael Malone goes right away, man. That's how it works. You walk in and you go right to the podium. It's really nice. Then you wait an hour for players. Am I wrong?
No,
That's how it goes.
It happens, and you really are just sitting there waiting for the players.
You're just sitting there waiting. Jokic does a whole workout routine. Then
You're
he
just sitting
showers.
there.
He plays 3 games of horse
You're
trainer.
sitting there waiting, respecting their time.
respecting
Playing
their
snakes
time.
snake on their phone.
No, he's
while
playing
you're
horse
just
trainer.
sitting
It's
there.
literally the horse trainer game where he's like picking up flowers and stuff, and you get more food. The other guy, though, to me, that was a huge standout was Bruce Brown.
Yes.
And, like, until that very end, I mean, Ish, he had a really good game. I don't want to take away from him, but the final minutes of a preseason game are like, whatever. Going against guys he's not going to be going against in moments he won't be playing in. But I thought Bruce Brown, to me, really showed me something. And the number one thing he showed me, I mean, we haven't seen where does he fit in.
No.
And it's funny because there were moments tonight where he played the lead ball handler where I was kind of like, we were talking like, man, that was a weird way to do it. That was this or that. But he had some moments of shake to his game tonight that I was like, my God, man, this guy's quick.
Dude, he's so much quicker than I had no idea that was part of his game. I was under the impression he was just sort of like a defensive, sort of stalwart. Like he would just kind of be in the right place, wouldn't be bullied, long arms, that kind of thing. Man, every now and again, he ran the fast break a few times. He is fast. He got up and down the court so fast. This is like on both counts, Ish and Bruce Brown. This is like a big eye opener on both guys.
Well, if we did he got that dog in him rankings,
oh man, the dog in him index,
the dog in him index. I mean, I would say he's got like a Rottweiler in him,
dude.
Yeah, he might be a young pit bull.
a young bull.
But yeah, like really with Bruce, what I love today is we got to see like that character. He's fun. He's trash talking. We've been, me especially, have been asking for him to just pop, just to do something, just to be out there and impact the game in a way. And I'm glad that it came against like a Chris Paul, came against like a team that was playing their starters, where you got to see him flexing. He's trash talking. He's having fun with it. I love to see him as the lead ball handler, just because I hadn't seen him do anything. He was just kind of just running up and down the court. But now you can see in this game where he's starting to feel confident. He's starting to feel like he has a role on the team, and this was great for him specifically. I think that was like my biggest takeaway in the game is now he's starting to see, okay, they play the right way. I could play some defense, but also
but you play some defense. You're underselling this man.
Yeah, but not today though. I love the offense.
Right.
I love the way that
I love his
stood out
defense too.
On that way, that
Shot
he just
was good
made
too,
sure
man.
that he showed that he could knock down the 3 ball and get to his spots and finish, or at least get to the free throw line. So this was a big game for me, to just know that he's starting to rise and feel comfortable in the offense, and that's all it took.
And we'll continue this conversation. One of the things that was interesting, with those guys, all those other guys out, we thought Michael Porter, this is a chance to see what he does on offense. Weirdly enough, I was most impressed with Bruce Brown exploring his game or extending his game tonight. He was the guy of all the guys that elevated his role, and it was a positive elevation. But we have live from Ball Arena, freshly off of speaking with none other than Michael Malone. We have Brendan Vogt in a cardigan. There he is. Vogt, how was the crowd there for this home game at Ball Arena?
Hey, fellas. Hope you can hear me all right. Just a disastrous Wi-Fi night here at Ball. But a great night for the crowd. The Nuggets grinded, and I think they earned the crowd's appreciation. And by that fourth quarter, look, through these 3 preseason games, it's been fairly empty as far as vibes go and stuff to sink your fan teeth into. But Ish Smith gave him something to stand up about, and they all responded, and they really willed the Nuggets in that fourth quarter. It was cool, man. I got the juice a little bit, and it like a regular season environment for a little stretch there in the second half.
I love that.
Really quick, are you in a moving car?
No, man, I'm on my phone because
Well, you're like shaking it around. You have to know that our eyes are your phone.
Oh man, I'm gonna throw up.
Is that better?
Yes.
Is this better?
Blair Witch Project.
Yeah, that was a little Blair Witch Project. Wow, I'm dizzy, Vogt. I have to imagine Michael Malone was happier tonight with the defensive effort, with the energy, and just kind of like it felt like a competitive basketball game.
Absolutely. And as far as preseasons go, to whatever extent they can be a good win, well, they played the Suns, who were playing their starters. So Malone was thrilled after the game. He talked about how he had joked with us multiple times that their 2 worst days of training camp, which Malone is now using to mean all of preseason as well as training camp. That's a new thing, but are the games themselves. And not the case in this game. And he thought they had been working so hard in practices. And the Nuggets have been practicing a lot, especially compared to last year. And he felt they deserved this one. And that hard work did carry over. He said that's Denver Nuggets basketball. And whether we had won that one or not, we were going to walk away from the arena thinking, this is who we are. This is what we need to be.
Love it.
Yeah, I like it. Somebody says you need to trim your eyebrows.
But I really think they. But I wouldn't take that to heart. I wouldn't take that one.
Yeah, I wouldn't look great. I wouldn't let you be self-conscious. Yeah, there you go. Look at that. I think they're fine.
Those are
normal eyebrows.
Those are great-looking eyebrows.
Great
those
eyebrows.
are great-looking eyebrows.
Get out of here, Eric. Eric Sandy, don't tell him he needs new eyebrows. Hold on, though. You did make an interesting point here, Vogt, which is not that it matters, because it's just preseason. But, the Suns, they're having a rough go of things. This hasn't been the best. It's kind of nice to just keep them down. Like, they get a little win. I think why they played Chris Paul so many minutes tonight is they're like, hey, let's just get a little feel good. We need a feel good. And it's nice to be like, no, you lost to Ish Smith. Go back to hell.
Yeah. No, they wanted to win that one, man. There's no doubt about it. I believe, correct me if I'm wrong, Internet, that this is their first game since that disappointing loss. Only 2 so far in the preseason, and they wanted this one. And they played like they wanted it. And crazily enough, they couldn't. They couldn't separate. And I think it's not necessarily that the Nuggets put on a masterclass on either end of the floor, but they competed all the way through. And wherever there was room for the Suns to pull away, the Nuggets just didn't let them. And it was really fun to see. And look, Booker missed a lot of shots that maybe he hits next time, but what a luxury it is to have a guy like Bruce Brown, and even Bones Highland, by the way, who was challenged on that end and stepped up. So for so long, it's felt like the Suns guards have been able to do whatever they wanted, and that wasn't the case tonight.
Yeah. Okay, what else did Michael Malone have to say?
A lot of praise for Ish Smith, of course. There was talk, remember, when they first signed him about will they waive this guy? I mean, think about how many ball handlers, playmakers, guys you really trust to initiate anything the Nuggets actually have on this roster. Tons of talent. But as we saw tonight, Bones Highland, should a player like that tweak an ankle, it's not like Monte and Will are still here. But enter Ish Smith, who is absolutely capable of filling those minutes, particularly in the preseason, definitely in the regular season. A pro's pro. And man, I kept looking around in that fourth quarter with it's like a warm blanket. He can't hurt us anymore, fellas. How many times have we seen Ish do that to us? And it went the other way this time. Some badass buckets too, man. He just swagged into those things. Great Ish minutes. He was thrilled, of course, with Bruce Brown. He said, look, this is exactly why we signed him. A guy who can guard Booker like that. He called his defense on Booker phenomenal. But he also went on to say, Bruce Brown is a guy who has point guard in him. He's played it in the past. And I want to get him reps at that position. He said he tried to at times tonight. I heard you mentioning earlier in the show, Adam, that manifested not necessarily in playmaking, but how about him exploring his game off the dribble, having the ball in his hands and finding lanes. He was really, really good on both ends tonight. And that was exactly what we were sold with Bruce Brown, and it felt fun to see for sure.
It definitely felt fun, and I'm not surprised Michael Malone loved his game tonight. I just feel like there's certain types of players Michael Malone likes. I think
Ish Smith and Bruce Brown.
Yeah, he's gonna like those guys an awful lot.
Even though we already made the trade, he still would probably trade MPJ for those two guys.
And look, man, it's all about those buckets at the end, of course. But there was one possession where Ish hustled, was able to sort of blow up a lob to DeAndre Ayton. Ayton caught the
Yes!
ball,
Yeah,
but
then
Ish prevented an easy scoring opportunity, and then he makes it all the way back, recovers in the corner, contests the three. It's like the best defensive possession of the night.
Yes, I love that play.
So-
It was the number one play on my notes as well. I was like, holy crap, how do you... Because he jumped so high that when it happened, I was like, who was that? And then like you're like, oh, that was Ish? He contested the like lob throw. It was pretty funny. So very impressive. But also, you know, when that play happened, I wasn't thinking about Ish Smith having a good game. I remember thinking like, look at Ish setting the tone, being the veteran, showing other guys this is how hard you have to play. And... you know, turns out he just was playing hard, which I think is great. I got to ask, did Michael Malone have anything to say about Peyton Watson tonight?
He didn't. He didn't get any prompts. But look, there was a real surge from the rookies there. Christian Brown finally finding something at the end, got his confidence up. Like when he attacks the basket, I think he can have more success that way. And then, yeah, that insane recovery block by Watson, the dunk, really good minutes from the rooks. Towards the end of the game there. And Jack White, who looked a mess with the free throws, clearly nervous, but he had that one excellent cut too, and the great catch with his left hand, put it in. I just thought it was high energy minutes. And to your point, maybe something inspired by Ish Smith, the vet going out there and grinding for it. Talk about Bones Highland for a little bit. Malone liked the way he played tonight, thought he was poised, thought he competed. My notes on Bones, guys, Booker and Paul went right at him, and he went right at them. And I thought he passed on both ends. Wasn't his most efficient night offensively. Loved the mid-range buckets. And I really loved the way he took the challenge defensively. Good stuff from Bones until Torrey Craig fell on him. Nuggets are calling that a lower leg sprain. Malone did call it his foot. I'm gonna wonder if it's the ankle, fellas. We'll see if we get more information on that. He did say he talked to him before talking to us and that he's not too concerned about Bones yet, but as always is the case with feet or perhaps ankles, you know, they'll have a better idea of that tomorrow. Something to keep an eye on. But again, as we saw right away tonight, this is the importance of having Ish Smith on the roster. One more shout out for you guys. DeAndre Jordan had a good night on the glass. And Malone said that this was his best of the 3 preseason games so far. Loved the rebounding, but also the defensive communication, which is not something that many Nuggets have been praised for in the Malone tenure, and he thought he did a good job on that end. You know, I framed the question, have you seen what you need to from him? Is he a guy who could play backup center, significant minutes across the season? He did say, look, it's a luxury on our team. We feel like it can be DeAndre. We feel like it can be Zeke. But that was the best that DeAndre's played so far.
Interesting. Did he? The one I don't want to say down spot because again it's preseason. We're having fun, kind of leaning into the highs, but we all know what it is. But the one down was Michael Porter tonight. He could not find his shot, and we know he was excited for this opportunity to kind of be the one of the go-to guys. Was there any commentary about him and the night he had tonight?
Yes, positive. Malone took the opportunity actually to praise Michael, who we said had been practicing well. He referenced an anecdote when Porter dove on the ball on the floor for a loose ball and got it, and the gym erupted like it was the finals. You know, he said, "Look, Mike's trying, and it wasn't his best night tonight, but he has no doubt he'll bounce back in these final 2 games." And he said he's actually really proud of him right now. And then he took the time to do the full-on, take a step back and say, "I'm just glad he's healthy." So, you know, look, Malone can take these opportunities to throw some constructive criticism to Porter through the media. Tonight, he declined an obvious one and went the other route instead.
I like it, man. That's really cool to see. I like that Malone took the opportunity to pick MPJ up after a tough shooting night. I think that's a cool one. All right, any other final thoughts you have for Michael Malone or just from the arena?
No, just this was like I said earlier, we got a taste of that regular season vibes. The fans wanted it, the players delivered, and I think just a step in the right direction of, do these games matter? No, but you want to see yourselves walking the walk, and particularly the head coach wanted to see it. Tonight he did. As far as preseason games go, guys, this is a great win. Did
you, real quick, did you get a chance to watch Jamal Murray and or Nikola Jokic go through warmups and just kind of what do you read from that?
They both seemed fine, honestly. They both seemed fine. So Murray did go through his warm-up, didn't look particularly like he was laboring or anything like that, didn't look super limited. Jokic was out there warming up, no brace, he looked fine. One thing of note, and I don't want to blow this up too much, I just want to say it as it is. Malone did say before the game that Jokic was not cleared to play.
We actually played the clip in the pregame show, so we played the entire thing. And I think you're right.
Semantics.
No, I don't think it is. I think he made a point to say, hey, he's not cleared yet.
Right. But having said that, we did see him warm up and he looked great. So this is the Jokic thing. I think the wrist has been bothering him for like 16 months, but it's hard to tell when he's the best player alive, isn't it?
Yeah, it is sometimes. Vogt, you did great work tonight.
The best work.
The best work. Actually, wait, hold on, before you get out of here. We know you love a tiny king.
Oh, no one stands a tiny king.
Nobody stands a tiny king like Brennan Vogt. Ish Smith. Is he, is this a new love affair? Brennan Vogt, Ish Smith? What's going on here?
Certified Tiny King, lock it in. He's
Whoa.
great. He has my heart.
Dude, the Tiny King Game of Thrones, is that easily switched over? Baku's out, Ish is in, just like that.
Look, all you have to do is be tiny and play well for a single
Let's
game.
Play well
It
once.
makes so much sense.
It does make a lot of sense. All right, Vogt, get home safe. Thanks so much, buddy.
See you, fellas.
Guys, I want to tell you about, did you guys happen to tune in at the very beginning of the show when we had the trailer for the upcoming documentary? I get to say it now. The title, 100 Invisible Threads. The name of our documentary on our trip to Serbia, which is going to premiere on October 27th, exclusively on Avaca TV. Exclusively. You guys know Avaca. They are the GOAT in Denver sports. We're 1 week away. You're legally streaming games. That's lame. Then it's always late, and then you get the viruses, you get the pop-ups.
Are you illegally streaming? Will you go to hell? We don't know.
We don't know.
That's just the problem. We don't know.
That is your fear. That is your fear. But you know what you could do is order Avaca TV. Not only do you get the Avs, who are the reigning Stanley Cup champions, the Denver Nuggets, who are maybe the favorites. Many people are saying they're the favorites for the Larry O'Brien.
The soon-to-be reigning champions.
Soon to be reigning champions. But you also get premier access to the documentary of our trip to Serbia, which I really think you guys are going to like. Following us every step of the way as we talk about the different things we learn and show you, bring you along for that journey, while also telling a very interesting story about the history of basketball in Serbia, in particular during the era of the breakup of Yugoslavia, where Serbia, and Slovenia and Croatia and Bosnia all broke up in a civil war. And the basketball at that time, to me, is an incredible story that I'm pretty sure none of you guys have ever heard before. And I think you're going to find it really, really interesting. We had some great interviews. Misko Raznatovic, super agent, Nikola Jokic's agent, founder of Mega Basket, had some great stuff to say. Milan Doset, Milos Jovanovic. We had some great guests throughout this thing. I think you guys are really going to find this a fascinating thing. And again, it's only on Avaca TV. So you want to check it out. By the way, tomorrow we'll have the premiere. We put it at the beginning of this, but tomorrow we're going to put it out on Twitter. And if you liked it, if you guys are hyped for this, share it. Do me a huge favor. Yes. Honestly, go hop on social media, hop on Twitter, hop on Facebook, hop on YouTube, whatever it is, and share this documentary. We've put a lot of love into this. Avaca TV has been a great partner. And we're hoping a lot of people sign up for Avaca TV between now and next week, basically, the start of the NBA season. We hope that a bunch of people sign up using our promo code evaca.tv/DNVR. Why? Because if this is a success, you can expect another one. Absolutely. A repeat trip to Serbia, or maybe to somewhere else. Maybe some other great story that we're going to be able to tell and bring you along with it. So
also,
go ahead.
A very affordable option to get your Denver Nuggets back.
The most affordable. Honestly, the most affordable.
It is the most affordable entertainment option. I mean, it's really not so dissimilar from just getting Netflix or something. It's,
right.
And there's a lot more that comes with it. So, do you want to go to hell? Do you? I don't want to.
No, I don't want to also. And also, you can watch, you guys are watching right now, you're able to watch on Avaca TV. You can watch all of the shows that we have here. So it just sounds like win after win after win.
Yeah, dub.
I got an email the other day, guys, that told me, hey, this is game time. Nuggets tickets that you set the alert for, prices have gone down for the home opener, which is a week from Saturday. This is what's cool about Game Time app. You download it. The link is in the description of the show. Use our link. We want you to use it one way or another, but we really want you to use it using our link so they know we're sending people there. But it's the great new way for you to get tickets to anything, concerts, games, whatever. Avs open up on Wednesday.
Yep.
You want to go to that one? Check right now, see what you can get a deal on. You want to go to the Nuggets game on Saturday, watch Jamal Murray's first game at Ball Arena since the injury. You can get tickets to that, and I think the tickets were low as like $18, but they were $22. I think they're $18 now. You can get to the home opener, which would be awesome, using that Game Time app. So it's really cool. It's great deals, insane value. Are you pulling it up right now so you're scrolling through here? Is this for the opener? $13. $13.
I'm actually a little insulted.
I'm actually a little insulted.
This is
too.
good.
Guys,
This is
somebody
taking a
buy
turn.
that ticket and then
This is
raise it
taking
up.
a turn that I didn't expect. I thought it was going to be letting people know about great value, but now I'm insulted.
Yeah, if you guys love us, you're going to love Game Time. Use the description in this show. I also want to tell you guys, now that we're back from break, that the Nuggets do start on the
are we
road this
back?
year. We're back. We're back.
Let's go.
The Nuggets start on the road this year. So next Wednesday is the season opener.
Okay.
Maybe you don't know this.
I don't know anything.
The DNVR bar, remodeled, reimagined. You maybe haven't been in here since last year. It was a completely different bar. We've got better seating capacity. Let me say this. Way better food. Not marginally better food. Way better food. A great chef. Actually, the Chef Daniel, who's the lead chef of DNVR, he's actually was a chef for Nikola Jokic. He's a chef for a bunch of other NBA players. This is who we got.
Yeah.
So you guys are intrigued. You want to eat dinner prepared to you by the chef that was Nikola Jokic's chef for quite a while?
You think you're better than Nikola Jokic?
You think you're better than him? Why don't you come down here, try out the new food, join us next Wednesday for the season opener, cheer along with us, check out the new bar. It's going to be great. And then lastly, Kale, we do have a party bus. Do you have the graphic here? We got 10 more days for you to sign up. Our first party bus is in like 3 weeks. It's November 5th against the San Antonio Spurs. $100, you get a ticket to the game and a ticket on the bus. You come here, you drink, you hang out with us. You hop on the bus, you go there, we all sit together, we cheer together, we come back afterwards Saturday night, and we celebrate. So sign up, $100, great value, good seats, lower level seats, good seats, and we'll have a good time. All right. Let's get into this. Peyton Watson, do you want to go to Peyton Watson? Let's go to MPJ. Let's go to MPJ.
All right.
Because here
the vibes have been too good.
The vibes have been too good. But here's the thing. I actually saw some positives, as did Michael Malone. Not from the offense of Michael Porter, which I thought was bad tonight. Michael Porter got the opportunity to take, as he says, and try to make tough shots tonight. And I didn't think he did so great. But I was intrigued by the lineup. What lineup started tonight? It was the lineup that I hope gets minutes. Stagger. It basically was the bench.
stagger,
It was
yeah.
Bones and Bruce Brown, which we just talked about how much we liked both of those guys. Jeff Green and DeAndre Jordan, and then Michael Porter right in the middle there. Now, Michael Porter didn't make his shots tonight, but he did get a lot of different types of shots than what he usually gets with Nikola Jokic. And more than anything, I just think that is one of the best solutions for that second unit is to put Michael Porter with them as much as possible. And I think it's maybe not completely coincidental that that's why we saw Aaron Gordon and KCP not play. It's like, you know what? Let's get extended minutes with this. What do you think?
Yeah, I think that although he did not make his shots, he was comfortable. It wasn't like he was just forcing everything, although I think that's just part of his game and who he is. But also he got to run the offense and get different looks, like you guys said. Putting him in a situation where it's a stagger, they're still going to run the offense through him. He's still going to be the leading shooter in that. And more often than not, he's going to be the leading scorer in those type of situations because he gets those different shots. I think in this game, I mean, his shot wasn't falling, so that's why he looks, tough. But also, he is grabbing rebounds. He also is, I feel like he's trying a little bit harder on defense. Like, he's going after blocks. He's, trying to, like, close out on guys and put them in tougher situations that he did in the past. So that is a positive that you have to go after. Yeah. That's the one thing that you're going to get with MPJ. Sometimes the shot's going to fall, and he's going to look like, the greatest scorer. But his shots are also so tough that it's, if it doesn't fall, then that's when you got to, like, say that it's not a good game. So I think that while this was his worst game right now, I don't think that it was a horrible game completely. And also he got to get his shots up, try to find his rhythm and things like that. And also the handle is still there where he's trying to control the ball a lot more. So you see him trying to at least explore his game.
Yeah, I wish he wouldn't though. Like he a couple times with the ball on the floor got stolen. Like he made some bad plays tonight. Like there were some positives. I agree. Like you saw effort from MPJ, but like overall, like I was just deeply unimpressed with him tonight. Like I just was like, yeah, because this was his time to shine.
Too.
Like,
I'm telling you,
this was his time, man. Like all of the other starters are. He was literally the only starter in the game. And he really went out kind of on a mission to like show that he was that guy. And man, I don't know. There was questionable.
He did not score very many points.
He scored 9 points.
He was outscored by Christian Brown today.
And he was like kind of like gummed up with people into the basket. He was just like, it didn't look good, man. It just really didn't look good. It just was. I was not very encouraged by MPJ tonight. But part of me thinks like maybe this is good. Like you kind of want him to be humbled a little bit. Like maybe like you're not that guy, pal. Like like you should just
I don't think you want that. I think
But
you want him to be the guy.
I want him to be the guy in relation to the other guys.
Right.
In relation to Nikola Jokic. In
You
relation
wish he
to
enjoyed the
Jamal
role
Murray.
that is best carved out
Yes,
for
but
him more than he appears to enjoy it.
Yes, but it's also like, all right, cool. You're the guy. Show us. Like, really? Like, you were the guy tonight, man. Like, you and Bones, right? Like, you guys get the tough shots. That's,
He had a tough defender, in Mikal Bridges. Like he has, that's a tough matchup. He's one of the best out there.
It was tough. Well, but I mean, it's true. But MPJ towers above him.
Right. He should.
He can get his shot off whenever he wants. I mean, and again, his shots just weren't falling; they were a little short. That's not going to be the case.
I felt like as
with
the game
MPJ.
went on, he started missing them worse.
Yes.
He kind of barely missed
and
them
his
early.
head, and he dropped his head. He got super frustrated. He got like in his head. So I didn't love that. I didn't love the body language. I didn't love a lot what I saw from MPJ tonight.
I hope that he has another game or two like this. Honestly,
Bad, you mean, or where he gets the gun?
Where he gets the gun, but it doesn't end well.
Oh, okay.
Because I want him to realize how easy it is when you're playing with Jokic.
Yes.
I want him to see how easy it is
yes.
when you're playing the role that is set up for you, where all you have to do is knock down the shot.
Knock down the shots,
Of
man.
course, right now, I mean, it's not an of course, but like those shots are so much tougher to take that, you're going to have to work harder. You're like, okay, the shot that I usually make, I'm a little bit more tired on because now I'm having to play on defense. I'm playing on offense. I have to create for myself in these stagger type of units where I think it's good at times, but also just be a set shooter. Be a guy that can just knock it down every single time. A guy that the defense is going to have to overplay, and now that's where you can get creative. That's where you can put it on the floor and get to your spot. So I do hope that he continues to get shots up. But also it's like, okay, this game is coming a little bit easier for me where I'm not having to put the ball on the floor and do all these things every single time.
I think tonight we saw Michael Porter's default setting, meaning this is the Michael Porter that wants to sort of escape. And it almost in some ways makes you appreciate how restrained he is when he's not in this mode. It's
true.
Because some of the shots he took tonight were like, oh my God, like what are you doing, man? That's a really forced one. But here's the thing. I still think that there is a scenario in which Michael Porter is half this and half the other version. Now, I don't think he's perfected either one of these, by the way. And tonight, you were mentioning the handle. There were a couple of times tonight where he had an opportunity to drive where you're like, dude, he worked on his handle off season. You're still like, man, you don't have the shake to your game that most guys do, that are elite scorers. But the thing is I still think it's okay. This was a bad game for him.
Yeah.
I don't mind him playing this way where it's ramped up a little bit. Were there 2 or 3 shots that I'm like, there's never a scenario where you need that? Sure. But I think it wasn't that bad. I'm fine with him being a super aggressive player in certain configurations. And then I'm fine with him being more of a fit-in guy. And I'm trying to think if there's a good example of this. Maybe James Harden back when he was with Oklahoma City, where he was 2 players. When you're out there with Russ and KD,
right.
He was like, okay, I'm going to spot up, I'm going to attack, but I'm going to distribute, but I know I'm within a system. When those guys were off, he just cooked.
Yep.
And Michael Porter's a different player than James Harden circa 2011, but I do wonder if there's something like that with MPJ. And again, we keep trying to think, how do you get MPJ to be this guy? We seem to all agree, a super Klay Thompson, right, playing in that system, but he's not necessarily dribbling or whatever. Maybe that's the compromise. Maybe that's the way you try to package it. Is like, look, we're going to look for opportunities in every game where you get to be aggressive and cook, and you're the number 1 option or number 1A, 1B is tonight with him and Bones. They both were equal options at times. And then there's going to be other times where it's not that you're the 3rd option behind Murray and Jokic. It's just that you need to play that system. And some nights you'll be number 1, sometimes you'll be number 3. It doesn't matter. Just play in that.
Yeah, I can envision a world, and maybe we'll see, like, if this was sort of the test run for that. For this, I mean, like we said to begin with, like this being the stagger that you see, like MPJ stays out with Bones Highland. What I will say is, like, I really did love how supremely confident he was. Like, he really came in.
I don't think you have to worry about that.
No, I mean, he and Bones, they just like felt like it just felt like they were like the upperclassmen coming into play with the freshmen.
It's a great observation, Eric.
And they were, well, thank you. I appreciate that.
I'm saying that's a good one. You're right. You're really right.
But it didn't necessarily yield the results for MPJ that it did for Bones Highland, but it was sort of like, all right, like we've got this. Come on. And so there's something, that is powerful to that. And it's probably not that coincidental that this is the most complete and the most effective that the bench looked. You know, like that it was imbued with like a little bit of
that's
confidence, like whether or not that actually worked. But then Bones started to fuel off of that. Then Jeff Green got into it. Bruce Brown obviously got into that. Like it just sort of like cascades down. So from that standpoint, like I did like what we got from MPJ. It's just like you can't play that.
You can't miss shots. You got to make shots.
You got to make your shot.
If
If you're gonna be if you're gonna be that, you like gotta.
I do love the confidence point here though tonight because I do agree with you that Bones Highland and Michael Porter play like they're the best players on the court. They're out there with Chris Paul and Devin Booker.
Yep.
You know, guys that were all-stars that are more certified, you know, than they are, and they played like, yeah, we're not afraid of you. In fact, Bones I think even more so because Devin Booker was almost trying to send a message or something tonight. Like there was times he was doing the Luka smirk actually, like where he was trying to like get under Bones and giving his face the Devin Booker face, you know, where he's like just all smug.
Oh,
and I thought Bones handled it great, where he was like, "We're not friends, bro. Get off me. I'm going at you." And then he would go at him.
I'm friends with Eric. That's my friend.
That's my guy. Yeah, that's my guy, man. So I was very impressed with Bones in that way. And you're right, Michael Porter. I wouldn't mind seeing Michael Porter in this mode a little bit more. And I hope that he finds the balance. Yeah. Like he finds the right balance. He was too far tonight. There was 3 or 4 shots that were like, come on, bro.
It's the preseason. Like you lend them a lot of leeway, but you know, we're talking about it.
Yeah, I do love the idea that you said about trying to find that compromise, and I really do hope that that's something that they do explore is having him have those stagger lineups where the offense runs through you, get your shots up. But when you're on the court with Yoke, when you're on the court with Jamal, you have to be that guy that's just set up and ready to shoot, and you get to him. Also, back to the Bones thing, I think it was kind of funny. Like Devin Booker's picking him up full court, like entire time.
Dude,
and
the
just trying to
Suns
see.
wanted this game.
I'm telling you,
that is the most delicious part about this. They wanted this stupid game.
Well, I know he's a second-year player, but we were talking in the pregame show about Moutier and how they pressured him because they were like, "You're a rookie. We're going to make this hell." They kind of tried to do that to Bones, and he's like, "Yo, I'm not afraid of this."
Yeah, and also he's so confident in his handle. He also hit a deep 3 in Chris Paul's face, and that gets him loose. Bones, he gets up for those type of situations. He gets up for those moments, and I like him being able to be successful against a guy like Chris Paul. I think that goes a long way. He was already confident, but now you're like, this is a really good defender that I'm going against. This is also, point guard, and I showed him that I'm able to battle with him. I'm able to go after him, and that's the type of mindset that you have to have that just makes you like crazy. Really.
We talked early on about how Moutier went up against Chris Paul early in his tenure with the Denver Nuggets, and like, are you looking at each other? Am I repeating?
No, I think that no one said that.
Nobody has made this one yet.
I feel uncomfortable.
Did this remind you of that, but only he handled it better?
Maybe a little bit. Did he just say that?
Maybe a little bit.
Were you in the chat?
I was in the chat.
Yeah, hey, it was a great point, Eric. That was a really good one.
Well, credit to me for picking up on the nonverbal cues that I should stop where I'm going. I was in the chat. I will say that.
You get lost in there too, man.
I got lost in the sauce, guys.
It's so funny. You know what else happened tonight? Actually, let's keep going through some players here. Zeke Naji got 21 minutes tonight. He got 9 points, 5 rebounds. Not bad. 21 minutes, 5 rebounds. All right. 4 of those on the defensive end tonight, not just one offensive. Dev, what do you how do you analyze Zeke Naji tonight?
I mean, at least he's now starting to rebound the ball. Like actually goes a long way because he hadn't been. But also there was big shot that he hit in the game that I really enjoyed. That he also tried to hit it again. Like he made sure that he was going to get the shots up. And especially with him being a knockdown shooter that everyone knows, he hasn't been hitting his 3 balls. So for him to see it go through and then also keep trying to, I think that was great. But also just seeing him be able to defend at a high level, both centers and be able to step out, that's something that Denver's going to have to open up and let him actually get more minutes on doing, because it is not going to just be easy with him just straight guarding centers, but also that's what makes him a versatile defender is the fact that he can step out on a Chris Paul for a couple of seconds, that he can step out on a backup point guard in small forward and everyone else. So Zeke, he's going to have to just keep getting better and better and better because they're going to need him in that second unit.
Yeah.
Guys, we have Harrison Wynn backstage already at From Ball Arena, so we're going to hear. We heard what Michael Malone
birthday?
said. Dev's birthday, man. So let's go ahead and bring in none other than the Wind himself, Mr. Harrison Wynn. Look at you. Oh, man. Look at the difference between Brendan Vogt's shaky cam and Harrison Wynn's gorgeous above the view, thinning.
Wow.
Look at that thin jawline.
It's so thin. But I think that I think he just wants to make sure that he's got the shot. Although I will say it looks like the camera could use a little wipe. I will say that.
could use a cleanse there. Harrison, so who did you talk to today?
Oh, man, guys. We talked to Bruce Brown. We talked to Christian Brown. We got the full Browntown experience tonight. And we talked to Ish Smith as well.
I love that you're standing. I love everything about this shot.
Adam really can't get enough of this.
I feel like he's about to break dance, or something. Like he's gonna put on a little performance for us.
Justin Timberlake.
Well, you can tell, Adam, me and Vogt, who I looked for, I can't find. I don't know where he went.
Or you want him to just stand behind you?
Vogt's asleep already. What are you talking about? All right, go ahead. Walk.
This was the second game in a row where I was looking forward to filming the post game video with Vogt. I think he just did it himself and left.
That sounds about right, man. It sounds about right. All right, walk us through. What did people have to say in the post game today?
So I'll start with Bruce Brown and look. The talking point of this training camp was defense. Nuggets want to be a top 5 defense. Bruce Brown was brought here to maybe help the Nuggets get there. And he just said, look, it felt really good to have a defensive game like that. We've been wanting to have a defensive game like that. Malone's been on us to have one like that. And we finally did. And he looked back to the Bulls game and he said, look, we allowed 40 points in the paint against the Bulls. We were just more aggressive and more locked in tonight. And that was the difference.
Okay.
And then I was just asking him about what really was working for him during that stretch he had. Was that in the third quarter? When
For Bruce?
Brown had that really good stretch tonight?
I think so. I can't remember. Yeah.
Anyways, he had that one stretch where it was just the best Bruce Brown has played this preseason. He was just like, look, I was aggressive. I was finding open spots in the defense. I was just, playing within myself, doing what I do, and that kind of allowed me to get loose. So I love the game that Bruce Brown played tonight. It was definitely his best in the preseason by far.
I love it. I did as well. Okay, what else?
We talked to Ish Smith as well. He was asked about the difference tonight compared to the first couple preseason games, and he said the physicality. We were stronger, we were tougher tonight than we were in that opener against the Thunder and in Chicago as well. Ish Smith was talking about Bones Highland. He said he's special. There's no weaknesses in his offensive game. And another storyline for me tonight was Bones Highland went at Chris Paul, went at Devin Booker, went at the Suns whenever he really had a chance. And then those guys were going at him on the other end of the floor. And Bones Highland didn't really back down at all. And Ish was like, look, I'm not surprised he didn't back down. He's been in Bones' ear all preseason, all training camp. His locker is right next to his in the locker room. So it seems like he's gotten to know Bones pretty well, and he's a believer. He's a believer in Bones Highland.
I love it, man. Here's the thing, Wind. A lot of people are calling him special. You know what? I just feel like he has the respect of other players, which is not everything, but it's not nothing either. And Ish Smith being like, hey, that guy who, oh, by the way, has my job. He's the backup point guard. That guy is special. It just, too many guys are saying it. You know what I mean? For me not to be fully bought into it. Also, I watch him play.
Also, I'm one of the guys saying it.
The word special for a rookie or a second-year guy, I feel like that's usually only reserved for, a top 5 pick or a top 10 guy who's just that star in college who comes in and is really starting and good from the get-go. Bones doesn't really fit the normal special qualifiers that you usually have to put on that type of player.
Do you know what else happened tonight? He hit a deep three, a really deep three.
That's not that hard to believe, though.
It's not that hard to believe at all. All right.
So Ish was talking about the game winner he hit tonight too. And it's something he learned from Chris Paul, actually. They're both Wake Forest guys. They're close. They know each other really well. And Ish was talking about how he watched Chris Paul for years. Just when he's about to take that game winner, he walks the ball up the floor slowly, and Chris Paul's defender just keeps backing up and keeps backing up. And eventually, Chris Paul is just at the three-point line and can get into the mid-range. So that's what Ish Smith did tonight. And he said he learned it from Chris, and he just got to his spot and kind of let it fly. And he had this great quote about the mid-range. He goes, it's not, the most analytically friendly shot, but I don't care. That's my game. It's like 1,000 paper cuts. Eventually, you're going to bleed out.
All right.
I've had 1,000 paper cuts.
The funny, can I just say one thing? Because I was watching the Jamal Murray Taylor Rooks interview, which was very interesting. That was a good interview overall. They were talking about the mid range and as analytics. I swear to God, every time a professional athlete does a podcast, they talk analytics and disparage it. And one thing he said is like, if it's the end of the game, I love to take a mid-range. Guys, at the end of the game, analytics don't matter. If you either make or miss. Like, it doesn't matter with it. I'm always like, that's...
Yeah, analytics are for building your team.
Yeah. Anyway, I always find it funny.
I wanted to say that to Ish at the podium, but I couldn't muster the strength,
You couldn't muster the strength to correct him. Good call on that one. Yeah. Actually, analytics. According to I'm not even an analytics guy. I'm just saying. It's like, this is just a basic thing. Anyway, go on.
Ish Smith, though, he's a great vet, man. He was asked just about kind of spearheading the Nuggets' comeback with his offense, and he was like, look, it's not about me. It's not about me. If we're going to win a championship, and a lot of us in this locker room think we can, it's going to be because of the defense, and that's why it's so important that we did that tonight.
I love it. They really did, man. They defended tonight.
Yeah, they did. And then we talked to Christian Brown as well. And, of course, get in here.
Oh, my goodness, Carrie. Hey, Carrie. Making a nice appearance. You're live on the internet now.
Yeah, you're live on the show.
That's lovely. Carrie Ann, the in-host arena there for the Denver Nuggets. Fantastic at her job.
Arena host here, yeah. But, yeah, we talked to Christian Brown as well. And look, he got the monkey off his back tonight, got a 3 to drop, and he said obviously the buckets felt really good, but the win felt better. Christian Brown is just all about the team as well. Like, I don't know if he's been perfectly trained in NBA PR or if he's just always been this way. He takes every question about himself and somehow turns it into the team. So he was loving that Denver got the win tonight and that they did so defensively as well. And the other notable thing I thought Christian Brown said was he was just kind of going on about how everybody in the locker room has been so supportive and willing to drop knowledge on him. He said especially the vets, Jeff Green, DeAndre Jordan, and Jamal Murray are the 3 guys he named. But really everyone, he says, has been like just so welcoming and helpful the first couple months of his career.
That's cool, man. That's not the case everywhere. So that's kind of nice to hear. And more than anything, it's funny that you talked about him only being about team. I mean, he didn't have that many highlights tonight. It would have been weird if he went into it and was like, it was incredible tonight, guys. I went 3 of 5.
Well, he didn't have a lot of highlights, but comparative to where we were starting, this was the greatest game ever played.
In all sincerity, this was a good game for Christian Brown. He needed a little bounce back. He got it, and hopefully this sort of steadies his nerves. Makes him feel a part of it. Anything else? Any other final thoughts from you from Ball Arena?
This felt like a big preseason win. If there's something like that exists, like Denver kind of needed this one. This felt good. I think this lifted the spirits of everybody to get the win tonight.
Us included. Yeah. Lifted our spirits here on this Monday.
But just when we've said this earlier, the Phoenix Suns did not care. They wanted PHNX Suns wanted us to know they did not care about.
They didn't want that one.
They didn't want it, even though they played their starters for a very, very long time. They did not care.
No,
I've got one funny anecdote to share from right before I hopped on the show. So, how it works after games is friends and family like wait in these seats right here for the players to come out of the locker room before they go on the bus. And there were 2 girls sitting here waiting for I don't know what players. And the Nugget security goes, what players are you guys waiting for? And I don't know, they said a couple names. And the security goes, both buses have already left. Everybody's gone. And they just had to walk up and leave.
Oh, that's rough.
I love that story.
I also love that was a story you just couldn't wait to share.
It was an NBA walk of shame for sure.
Thank you. Thanks, H-Top.
Thanks for this top shelf report. Can you always now just do this camera angle whenever you report live? I mean, wherever you are right now, perfect, man. This is fantastic stuff.
This is what I have to do when they lock up all the chairs up here. They were quick to it today, so I had to put the camera up here.
I love it, man. Win, get home safe. Thanks so much for the report. Everybody, we're going to take a quick break. You guys can hit that like button for us while I read off these fantastic ads, including one for DraftKings Sportsbook. You guys know this NFL action, full swing. In absolutely full swing. DraftKings Sportsbook, their official sports betting partner of the NFL. Not that many things better than betting. If you're just talking about a regular season game, NFL's the top to bet on. If you're talking about an event, March Madness is up there. Like, that's a really fun one. MMA is fun. Golf events are this or that. But if you're just talking regular season, football Sunday, place 3 or 4 bets, watch your bets win. Maybe place 7 or 8 bets. It doesn't matter. Right now, you guys can get $200 in free bets if you bet $5 on any NFL team to win, and you hit it right. Bet $5, you win $200. You can check this out. Also, you get the everyone can boost their winnings right now with DraftKings stepped up in-game parlays. So if you bet on a 3-leg parlay, you get a little boost. You bet on like a 10-leg parlay, huge boost.
It's fun to sort of like craft the narrative of the game and like see if you possess the prognostication powers to be able to figure out you sort of figure out, you're like, this quarterback can have a hard time against this defense, and then you're usually wrong.
You're like, they're going to get off to a hot start tonight. I'm taking them in the first quarter because I just think that offense is going to get going. And then you win your bet because they got 1 field goal at the end. It's 3-0. And you're like, told you. I knew it. I knew that's how it was going to go. So download the DraftKings Sportsbook app now. Use promo code DNVR. Get $200 in free bets when your team wins when you place a $5 bet on any football game. That's code DNVR. Only at DraftKings Sportsbook, an official sports betting partner of the NFL. Minimum age, eligibility restrictions apply. See DraftKings.com for sportsbook for details. By the way, guys, the next one here, I'm going to need you to show your fingernails here because this next one is Athletic Greens.
Do you want me to take my shirt off?
This very day. I had to
put his shirt on.
Oh, you want me to put my shirt on?
Put your shirt on.
Let's see if I can get in the light here and get the right reflection off of these.
I had Athletic Greens this very morning, and it was fantastic. The little shaker, put it in there, put some cold water, 2 cubes of ice. I'm very particular about my ice. I want them to melt by the time I'm done shaking it.
I put my Athletic Greens in the same cup every day.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
It's kind of caked with old.
Oh, really? Is that right? Wow,
and then I stir it with an old knife. I like to take my Athletic Greens like a mountain man. Somebody with Red Dead Redemption.
I'm speaking to the fellas. I'm speaking to the ladies as well. But to the fellas, I know not every you get to a certain age and you're thinking, I've never eaten vitamins. And I don't eat healthy all the time. You're thinking about like, it's time for me to start paying attention to my health, making sure I'm getting everything. Athletic Greens makes this so easy.
Really, honest.
Guess what they have? 75 high quality vitamins, minerals, whole food sourced superfoods, probiotics, and adaptogen. So if you're thinking about, hey, I probably am at the age now I need to start taking some pills. I need to make sure I'm getting my vitamins, getting my supplements. Athletic Greens makes it easy for you. Wake up in the morning, make a little shake, drink it. You're good to go.
All jokes aside, vitamins are weird.
Vitamins are weird.
These big, hunking things. You have to swallow them or whatever. It's like Athletic Greens is like a pleasant way to enjoy, and it also again makes you feel healthy. You start off the day. It's a beautiful thing.
It is a beautiful thing. Go to athleticgreens.com/nuggets. athleticgreens.com/nuggets. All right, let's get in this final chapter here, guys. Something that happened tonight that I thought was interesting. There was a take foul.
Yes.
There was a take foul by Chris Paul. And they called it. And so here's the thing. I thought the take foul was kind of like, if there was too many guys back, it doesn't happen. No. They just say if you don't make a natural play on the ball. And Chris Paul's clearly wasn't. So they call a take foul. It's a technical. I liked it. I'm with it. I was like, good job. Then later in the game, Jeff Green makes a fake play on the ball. Did he not? He made. So what he did was he made it look like he was going for the ball, but clearly just to foul. And I was sitting here thinking they're probably not going to call this the take foul rule because he did a good enough job of faking it. Not true. The referees correctly said you didn't make an honest play on the ball, and they called it anyway. Dev, are you happy with both? Were you happy with one and not the other? Are you not happy with either of the take fouls called tonight? The new rule.
I'm happy about both.
Me too.
Just because it sets the precedent. They made a rule. You need to follow that rule. Also, it's to eliminate those type of plays. So even if you're going to fake it, what's the point of faking it? You might as well just go ahead and do it. But they're just trying to make sure that you could get out and running, get out and playing, where you're not going to just stop the play just because it's strategic. So I'm glad that they called it both ways because now guys don't straddle the fence of saying where you're arguing, hey, I really tried to go after the ball. No, you didn't. Everyone knows that you didn't. So I do like that.
He disguised it really well. I got to be honest. This one I thought for sure was not. I'm glad it was called because I do think if you call it like this early on, where you're the ref's just making a judgment call, I don't think you really were trying. Guys will just stop. They'll stop trying to trick refs.
Yeah.
If you're I can't trick them, they're calling it extra tight, then you'll just actually only go for the actual plays on the ball.
Yeah, and it's also going to force a lot more opportunities where teams are going to try to get out and run, which is great, especially for Jokic when he grabs the rebound and just throws it out for fast breaks. So it's going to play in their advantage. Also, when you're in Colorado, you already have the altitude on your side. So trying to get out and run is just going to help you a lot more. So I think that it's advantage Denver.
Yeah, I love this change of rule. It was just the NBA felt like they were just waging war on the fast break, which is one of the most fun parts about basketball. Just watching somebody run in transition, just hammer a dunk down. That's one of the best things there is. I'm curious to see how Nikola Jokic is with this new rule. That's been a big part of his game, the take foul. But I love that they're legislating out the worst parts of basketball. Over the last 2 seasons, they did their best to get rid of the fake James Harden 3-point fake I'm actually shooting foul.
Right.
So that's great. There's so many things that are just obviously wrong with the game of basketball. I love that they're trying to address it. And I like both calls also. I would the take foul sucks. It's just anybody can do it. You stop what could be the most exciting play of the game.
I will say this. I predicted that this rule would lead to more fast breaks. We haven't really had any fast breaks.
Yeah. Well, there were some. Bruce Brown had one. It's you gotta see what happens. There'll be more.
I do like the rule though because I just hate the idea that you fouling at half court is the right thing to do. And tonight, 2 times it worked out. In other news, Facu Campazzo is in the news. You guys, have you guys
saw this. Yes,
Facu Campazzo, drawing interest from the Dallas Mavericks. Mm-hmm. Facu, who did not have a good last year, that's exactly how I feel. I look at this and I go, Facu, to me, useful player. He has his major limitations. 5-out offense, spread pick and roll, give him Christian Wood diving to the basket, who, by the way, is a very good offensive player. I don't know. I looked at this and I go, that's a good landing spot for him. And Western Conference, kind of a drag.
Yeah, and also they have an open point guard spot without Jalen Brunson over there. So I think it works. Also, he has that the European game that they're making crazy passes. So him and Luka being able to do that at various times, that just opens up the offense. And also it's the team's already going to have to be ready for the pass at all times. I think that it's a great fit, especially if you're coming off of a Dinwiddie type of lineup. You have 2 big guards, and then you have this smaller guard, a tiny king, a tiny king that can also be a pass first guy. So I do think that it's a great fit, and also I still root for the guy.
Yeah,
so
me too.
That will be great for him.
We're gonna find out just how irritating he is, though. Unfortunately, we're gonna go up against Facu and be like, "Oh my God, this is what this feels like. This is terrible." Dallas is the most natural landing place for him, and he's the reincarnation of JJ Barea in a lot of ways. So, and just in the small guy that can kind of get in and out, or just would torture the Nuggets back in the day. I fear getting a Facu revenge game.
That would be a low feeling.
It's going to feel very low. But good for
Nuggets
him.
are
man.
1-1 when he starts playing.
Facu is a really good guy too. Like he's,
Is
just
he?
like, I think so. I mean, like unless he's hiding it,
I don't know.
he
Maybe.
just seems like he's like a family man. Like I don't know. He just seems like
He doesn't seem like a bad guy for sure.
Well, he seemed. I don't know. In
really
all of
good
his.
guy?
Well,
Am I a really good guy?
Well, do you want the? Do you want which of
Facu's
these?
a better guy than I am.
Which of these questions do you want me to answer?
Wow.
Facu definitely a better guy than you. Facu has a lot of like social media postings. You just tell he's a good guy. I just like Facu. I mean, I don't want to hang out with you.
Jeez, man, that really got
Sorry,
it's tough down there.
You
at the
got me
end.
on a roll, dude.
I did catch you on a roll. Any other final thoughts here, guys, before we get out of here and head home on our Monday?
P. Watt looked pretty good. Got a great block. Basically, everybody had some moment in the game tonight that I thought was encouraging. I mean, just overall, except for MPJ, unfortunately, except for the starter. But I just think that you really, like Wynn said, like this somehow was a must-win preseason game. Like we started, our vibes have been so over the top that the like cold water that we were getting splashed on our face by actually watching the Denver Nuggets like perform so terribly in the first two was, just hanging over me a little bit. So I don't know. It just feels good. It just feels good to like feel those feelings, get the juices going, as Brendan Vogt says. Like, and is it a coincidence? It comes on the day that 100 Invisible Threads
Man, we
trailer drops. Are we?
That's so true.
Are we a bastion of vibes?
I think we are bastion. I mean, that was proven when we went to Serbia.
I think that's true.
I think that was definitely proven.
My biggest takeaway was, it was a bittersweet feeling. While we did not see Jamal Murray in pregame warmups, it was great to see Yoke in pregame warmups.
We saw Jamal Murray in pregame warmups.
Oh,
we
then
did.
Then
You
I'm
didn't
really
see him.
happy.
Yeah,
I'm really happy. Just because, the conversations that Malone had about it is, two guys are not playing, so they was like rolled out earlier in the day. But then they go out and they go through warm-ups. I seen Jokic's warm-up, and he looked great. He's knocking down everything. He's clearly not bothered to the fact that if this was a game that mattered, I feel like he will be playing. So that's just great news. And then also just to see the team play hard without their guys. They went and competed with the Suns and also went and beat a team that really did want it.
They did.
Whether they want to admit it or not. The backup units just making sure that they played hard defense. They battled against a team that's playing hard defense and trying to, rattle them in some type of way, and they just rallied. So I think that was great.
I mean, like more than anything, like the feeling I felt I have been left with after these first two meaningless preseason games was that I was a little bit nervous about the bench. Like I just didn't know.
It's gonna be a galvanizing thing for them.
I just saw it for the first time. Like you just need to see it, and we saw what it can look like when they're working together, when they like genuinely focus on defense, not just talking about it, but like actually doing the right things. And again, like to see Bruce Brown, I think Bruce Brown is the thing that makes me feel most encouraged after this game. Now that I've had a little time to think about it.
Yeah, he was great. The other guy, and Jack brings it up here, although he says DJ deserves some apologies. I don't know about apologies, but he has looked good. I mean, DeAndre Jordan I expected to look worse through three preseason games. He's actually been, he's been productive. He's done some things. So. And then, of course, we've heard nothing but great things about him. I mean, honestly.
I've heard he was the MVP of training camp.
Might have been the MVP, man. The Vibes MVP. Kel, did you already hit that outro music? All right, there it is right there. Well, we probably could have hit it a minute ago. I think we're ready to
We could have hit it about 2
Kel, what time are we tomorrow? 2? All right, couple things. Trailer is going to be live tomorrow. If you guys could do us a favor, tomorrow morning when that... Actually, you can go now. It's up on our YouTube page. Hit the like button on that trailer. We really want to... We work so hard on this documentary, guys. We really want you to push it, and we to make this thing a huge success. And then tomorrow, we're at 2 o'clock. 2 o'clock. So we're going to be doing a live podcast tomorrow at 2, and then again back for post-game show on Wednesday. Adios, everybody.
Let's go.